Welcome to Studio 58A Live here at the Jamaica Information Service, our discussion program coming to you live on Facebook. I'm your host, Vaughn Davis. Thank you to everyone joining us online wherever you are around the world. We do appreciate it. As you watch, remember to send in your questions and your comments so we can put them to our guests. And like how we have your attention, just do us a favor now. The same favor we ask every single time. Share this video with a friend or two or 50 so we can have a nice, lively discussion. Now, ladies and gentlemen, simply put, the road stay away. It's sticky out there. We continue to see reckless driving and bad accidents and tragic loss of life week after week, despite all of the information put out there discouraging people to drive recklessly on the road. As at August, we were over 200 road fatalities already, and I'm sure, we've gone well beyond that. But the question is, what can we do to get some control and bring the level of indiscipline down on the nation's roads? Here to help us get some perspective on this issue is Director of the National Road Safety Unit, Mr. Kenute Hare. Welcome, Mr. Hare.
Thank you very much.
Now, Mr. Hare, I feel like I don't even know where to start. The question is, what's going on our roads? What, in your estimation, is the reason for this madness that we see day to day? And I have to call it madness because some of the things we see out there, it almost seems like no sane person should be attempting some of these things that we see on the road day after day.
You have highlighted the issues correctly. What we see out there is not normal, and it highlights a fact that people, quite a number of persons, have begun to operate on the network as if nobody else is using the road. Mm-hmm. I boil it down to lack of love. Mm-hmm. Because when you have love, you love yourself first, and then you love others.
I agree.
But it is clear that many of our motorists don't love themselves. So if they don't love themselves, they won't love anybody else.
Exactly.
Because the Most High said, love your neighbor like how you love yourself. That's what the Most High said. So it's a challenge to get persons to understand that it's not them alone using the network. Mm. It's a challenge to get persons to understand that whenever they operate on the network, they should do so critically. If they don't love themselves, love your family. Yes. Love your family who is looking forward to you coming home safely.
Mr. Hare, I'm going to ask you, give us look in the camera and give us some data. What's the situation on the road right now? What are some of the statistics that you can share with members of the public right now?
As we speak right now, 282 persons are dead.
282, yeah. Almost 300.
They're not coming back. I remember 31 years ago, a gentleman told me that the reason why he's going to slab the grave, concrete it, is because he don't want my mother to raise from the dead. So that etched in my brain to this day. And therefore, when we look at the data, we are seeing where over close to 5,000 persons have been injured in traffic crashes.
Since the start of the year,
yes,
or
yes.
Close to 5,000?
Yeah, man. Large numbers of persons are injured as a result of traffic crash, more than deaths. When we look at it, some of these injuries are, you will walk with them for the rest of your life. A lot of these injuries could have been easily been avoided. A lot of these deaths could have been avoided. When I look at the 282 persons who have been killed so far this year, it's foolishness.
As in, that is caused it.
It's not any freak accident. Right? Persons operating badly on network. Over 95% of the crashes are due to human behavior. There's a minute number that has to do with defective roads and defective vehicles.
Minute, so they don't have any excuse where that is concerned.
right? We are seeing in the black boxes of motor vehicles involved in collisions. Well, I see with my 4 eyes, the maximum speed that I have seen is 180 kilometers per hour. Anybody who is hit at that speed is in must dead corner.
Exactly.
They cannot survive. They're not going to survive. Any pedestrian get hit at those speeds, any motorcyclist get hit at those speeds, won't survive. The drivers of those vehicles now, for them to survive, it's going to be dependent on the angle at which the vehicle collided. And also if they were operating a safe vehicle. Notice I use the word safe because not all vehicles are safe.
That's true.
And I know that persons procure vehicles because of style. But you should procure your vehicle based on safety and demand safety. Demand that vehicles have crumple zone to take off leak. Demand that the roof strength of the vehicle is enough. You should do your research to ensure that your vehicle that you are in is safe, right? Vehicles manufactured now are much more safer than vehicles manufactured 20 years ago. There are far more energy absorbing materials inside the vehicle that will give people a better chance to survive a collision. And that is why the United Nations is pushing for safer vehicles. This is a pillar of the United Nations. Road safety has become so important that between 2011 to 2020, it's a decade of action for road safety. The UN has declared that. And they have pushed that further now into the Sustainable Development Goals, which end in 2030. Because road safety road traffic accidents kills a large number of persons per annum on the network across the world. Before today ends, 3,500 people are going to die across the world. 500 of which are children. Right?
Okay, then.
And by the end of this year, over 50 million are going to be injured.
50 million?
Yes.
That's the kind of numbers we're talking about.
Because of needless traffic crashes. 1.3 million are going to die by the end of this year. Right? And this is startling. 92% of the persons who are killed in road traffic crashes die in developing countries.
92%?
Yes. 48% of the motor vehicles are in developing countries. Right? So, we who live in developing country, we need to remember that there's no difference between who live in developed and developing. We're all human beings. But what has happened is that our choices is what is injuring us and killing us. Not only choices that we make as a motorist, but choices that other motorists make. Because sometimes you are doing the correct thing on the network, and we have seen this many times. But some errant driver who decide that he or she is going to burn up the speedometer,
or where he
but they never listen to the other part of the song that said how you are deal with the road, so right. And then you have passengers in the motor vehicles who boost up drivers to burn up the speedometer. And then when the crash happens, they also face terrible music. Right? We have seen cases where persons are coming from sessions and everybody in that vehicle dead. Everybody. And when we check the black box, exponential speeding. I've been telling people in this country that if your vehicle is equipped with an airbag, there's a computer in your vehicle known as black box, and it records everything that you are doing. Jamaica have a cadre of over 40 persons across the country who are skilled in the analysis of this. And we are seeing lots of information across the country, what's going on.
Well, let me just stop you right there and just check in with our people online. We're getting lots of questions or lots of comments already. Just to remind you, we're here with Kenute Hare, Director of the National Road Safety Unit, and we're addressing the topic, curbing indiscipline on the nation's roads. Just to big up those who have already checked in. Leota McDonald, thank you for your comment. Prophet Evangelist Linton. Anthony. He's talking about the robot taxis and how much they tend to drive hard on the road because they feel like they have to eat the biggest food in order to make the most money. So that's the justification for why they have to deal with the road. So as you say, Leota McDonald, dangerous conditions can also arise from the poor physical condition of the road and its surroundings. Various government agencies are responsible for maintaining roads and ensuring they are safe for driving. Cyclists and pedestrians, including providing proper signage, pavement, signals, and traffic control devices. I think she wants you to rehash that issue, talking about how the road conditions themselves and so on affect accidents. I
am very happy, you see, that, what's her name?
Leota McDonald.
Leota McDonald has raised. The reason why we have traffic crashes, you see, is because there's a breakdown in one or two or three elements, and they are human beings. The environment, which includes the road, and the vehicle. All it takes is for a breakdown in one. Nobody should take what I'm going to say as a justification for road conditions. The areas where we are having the fatal crashes are areas where the roads are in good condition.
Okay.
Nicely straight asphalted road. Like Mandela Highway working at. It's fret me, We ain't taught me, Because I know what they're going to do out there. But I hope that the police force plan for them in a sustainable manner.
So it sounds like you're more concerned about those fresh, beautiful, long stretches of road than the bad ones.
No, we're concerned about everything.
Okay.
Coming to that. So I want to make certain things clear.
All right.
Now it's important that our road surfaces are in very good condition. Because one of the postulates of the United Nations that safer roads and the roadsides. Safer roads give drivers a fighting chance to survive collisions. And safer roads sides give drivers a fighting chance to survive also too. We have had cases where if we had safer roadsides, we would have saved some lives, right? Road signs and markings, that's a serious problem across the country, right? And we are in constant dialogue with the National Works Agency to ensure that these things are put up because they play a critical role as it relates to road safety. So I agree with her that road surfaces, lack of road signs also play a critical role with respect to road safety. No justification. One of the things is that you'd see the NAA trying to rehabilitate quite a bit of the roads across the country, and it's within that framework to enhance the safety. Why they are doing it. What for me personally, I appreciate that question. I like it because it shows that persons are interested in road safety and want to see a better traffic environment out there. Right? I would say that our sidewalks for pedestrians are in need of profound rehabilitation, and that's something that we are in discussions with the NAA about to ensure that persons who operate on network are safer.
Yeah, let me just interject. One of the comments we had from Roxanne Marie Silent. Thank you, Roxanne, for your comment. She says, a lot of persons do not know how to use intersections, roundabouts, etc. properly, and that is one of the things that contribute to some of the accidents sometimes and so on. So a public education campaign is necessary to ensure that persons, because you were just mentioning that signage and so on is just as vital. Yeah. So talk to me about that and ensuring that persons are aware of how big an impact do you think that has had on a situation on the roads, persons understanding what these signs means and how they're supposed to react and behave when they are in particular situations on the roadways.
Well, the fact that we get a comment like that from the public, it would definitely mean that we need to do more work on it. Because if one person have an issue, it therefore means it's something that we ought to deal with. So that's something that we will try to have more programs dedicated to roundabouts and the intersection. Because these two, I have seen where quite a bit of motorists is either they don't know or they don't care.
Okay.
Right?
One second there, Mr. Hare. It appears that people online are saying there's a little bit of trouble with the audio. It seems that they can't quite hear Mr. Hare so well. I'm going to ask our persons to check on that. And as we talk and discuss things, if there's anything you missed, just let us know and we'll have him rehash it as soon as possible. And we're working on it, ladies and gentlemen, so don't worry about it. Another question that I'm seeing here is that, persons commiserating with it to some degree, saying, Roxanne Marie Silent saying, hard task ahead. You see parents, father and mother driving like hogs and breaking every code with their small children in the vehicle. Fine example being set, like father, like son. I'm
going to say something, right? And sometimes people get upset, but the truth is the truth. The psychologists and the sociologists have said that you really learn your behavior from your parents. So how you see your parents drive, that's the way you're going to drive for the most part. So if you see your parents cussing out people, bad driving, unless you develop that level of consciousness whereby you abhor that behavior, there's a great probability, and therefore we say it's important for parents to set proper examples for their children and obey the rules of the road. We do a lot of road safety education in schools. That's something that we don't play with. And the things that parents will tell us that their children will tell us that their parents are doing, it makes your blood cringe, right? And therefore we now have to see how best we can reach out to these parents. That it's not the big thing is the problem, it's the little things then mushroom, right? Proper driving behavior is just like proper discipline, proper decorum, right? There's no difference, right? How you behave on the road, it shows how you behave generally, right? Take your time on the network, be patient, and teach your child proper morals and values as the operator network. When I was growing up, my father said, I will never forget, my father said he has 14 children to live for.
14.
And he cannot afford to die in a traffic crash because he don't want them children to suffer. Right? So we as human beings operating out there need to understand that it's 282 dead already.
Yeah.
They are not going to come back. Right? And most of who die because of some bad human decision that were taken. When you see an unbroken white line on the road surface, brow off a hill, and you decide to overtake and crash head on into another vehicle, 3 persons aboard, so nobody in that vehicle couldn't tell the driver to cool it and don't bother with it.
Why?
Everybody doing the same thing.
Like, I've been in that situation, so it's like you almost feel like the driver and you don't even know, you're so frightened of what's happening, you feel paralyzed kind of.
Oh, I tell you this, anybody who even think of driving me that way, you'll never drive me again. I'd rather walk. I'll walk from Negril come to Kingston rather than allow a hot-headed shutter driver, a hot-foot driver to drive me. And this is where we have to go. We have to demand certain level of behavior from our drivers, because a lot of the drivers are doing maneuvers out there that prove perilous.
I think they might try that they should be at Dover, Vernon Field or something.
No, you can't drive that way at Dover, you know.
Yeah, okay.
No, you can't drive that way at Dover. You can't drive that way at Vernon Field. You can't do it because it's not designed for that. And those of us who call ourselves big driver, you're not a big driver, man, and you disobey law, man.
So let me ask you this. We were talking about it earlier. Let me just take time to check in. Thank you, Daniel P. Brown. You mentioned that the audio was low. We fixed it, and you're bigging us up for fixing it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Really love the feedback. Now, we were talking earlier about some of the more dangerous parts of the country, or the countries that are the parishes. You were giving me a breakdown of which parishes have the most accidents, which parish is going on the worst then. Can you just rehash that for me and let the public know what's going on where that is concerned?
All right. The parish of St. Catherine. That's the number one parish in terms of road death.
St. Catherine.
St. Catherine.
Any community in particular, just as a whole?
It's scattered.
Okay.
So your Old Harbour Main Road. Your Elsha Main Road.
Okay.
Right? Your Spanish Town bypass. Sections of Highway 2000.
All of those have one thing.
Mandela Highway.
Long stretch of pretty road.
So you see where we're going. Right? So these are some of the areas where we have the issue. And we're seeing the speeds. I tell you, we're seeing the speed. So when I say people speeding, we just want people to know that we have the information from the black box, because the manufacturers have designed the vehicles with airbags, and the airbag give you a fighting chance to survive the crash also. They give you 10%.
10%?
Yes, 10%. Seat belt give you 50%. 50 plus 10, 60. Mankind have only been able to give you 60%. He cannot give you 100% because he is not God.
Exactly.
The vehicle was not designed for you to survive speeds of the 300 kilometer that you see on the speedometer in there. Because some people say, oh, the speedometer at 300, I said, it's not for you to drive it. Yeah. Do not do it, because if you crash at those speeds, remember, if you crash at any speed you crash at, your internal organs are crashing upon each other at that speed. So imagine your rib cage traveling at 300 kilometers per hour because you burn up the speedometer. And your lungs traveling at 300 also. And your heart also. And when the crash happened, the lungs go after the rib cage go after the lungs, the heart go after the rib cage go. There is a collision going on inside of your body. Who is going to win? Nobody. Because what the rib cage is going to do, and have done, is when the heart come after it at 100, it go back after the heart at 100 and just puncture the heart. Because the rib cage is going to stand up firm and say it is the boss. Same thing for the head, the brain. They'll be traveling at 100 kilometers per hour. It rushed to the front of the skull and then it go boom bang, boom bang, boom bang, and the skull is going to resist it. Because Newton's third law of motion said, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. And it's the energy dissipated in a collision that determines survivability. So you really want to have low energy being dissipated, so people have a fighting chance. And all coupled with the fact that you want persons to be leveraging these protective devices. No. A critical thing that determines survivability also is where did the force come in on that vehicle. A lot of crashes occur at an angle, so the force is coming in at an angular basis. So whoever is sitting in that angular position, what they call the line of fire, those persons are going to be seriously injured. The other bodies are going to move in the direction that the force is coming, right? Because the bodies move, and this is why we want persons to leverage their seatbelt. We want persons to stay in the vehicle. It's better you stay in the vehicle, you have a better chance of surviving than being
parachuted out of the vehicle. A lot of persons, over 30 pedestrians, 30 drivers and passengers. We have 87 drivers and passengers in private motor vehicles who have been killed. About 30 of them were not wearing their seatbelts. A large number got thrown out of the motor vehicle.
Right.
And the asphalt is not forgiving.
I can just
what
imagine.
person must understand is that whatever speed the motor vehicle is going at, the speed they are going. So if there is a collision and you fly out of the vehicle, right? And hit that, you say the vehicle is going 80, you will fly out of the vehicle at 80. When you fly out of the vehicle at 80, you're going to hit the asphalt at 80, then the asphalt is going to clap your back at 80. Now we must remember that the body is water. The body is made up of water. So, and the brain is water too. The eye is water and the brain is water. Liver is wood. Kidney is water. So therefore, once these organs clap the asphalt, juice is going to leak out on the road surface, and our ability to get medical treatment is going to be critical, because we're going to be need to move to the hospital as quickly as possible within that golden hour, that first hour. We need to get medical attention urgently, right? When you're involved in a traffic crash, do not play with it, right? Get medical attention immediately, right? So it boils down to the fact that a lot of our persons could have survived traffic crashes if they were just wearing their seatbelt.
Let me just interrupt, because we're getting a lot of feedback. A lot of people have a lot of questions for you, Mr. Hare.
Okay.
Let's go in. Once again, we're talking with Mr. Kenute Hare, Director of the Road Safety Unit, talking about the issue of indiscipline on the roads and so on. Now, Melissa Green is asking, says, Mr. Hare, I don't know if it's all possible, but I think there's a need to go to the very beginning. Too many purchased licenses without so much as a glance at the road code. Many taxi and coaster bus drivers especially have no idea who has the right of way in a roundabout or a four-way stop sign intersection, for example. So speeding along with broken road codes contribute to accidents and road fatalities. Many of them don't know the basic and vital road code policies. What do you think? What's your take on that?
I have to agree with her. I cannot disagree with her. Can't. There are persons out there who have acquired their driver's license in an improper manner. No doubt about that. And that is why we at the Road Safety Unit have been working to try to see how best we can reach everybody to get them to understand the importance of practicing proper etiquette. We have had discussions with the Island Traffic Authority about this issue, and I know that they have put systems in place to try to mitigate it as much as possible. Whilst we have that issue, one other issue also, so that would be, it would seem to be the person is positing that there are officers within the Island Traffic Authority who are selling these driver's license. Right? But another thing that we must also remember too, whilst I will not try to say it's not happening, which I can't do, I would also like to say too that there is an underground empire that makes driver's license too, and from time to time the police would shake those down, right? But notwithstanding that though, based on where I sit and what I have seen, there are many drivers out there who went through the proper channel, who never buy the driver's license, who still don't know
what to
proper road etiquette. Right? We have a lot of questions. When we go to events, we ask drivers, people question. People boast they have driven life for 20, 30 years. We ask them things they just can't answer. And by virtue of that, now we have to tailor our public education program accordingly to empower. We will not allow anybody to come to our booth and come to our place who don't know and leave empty-handed. That's not going to happen. We are going to spend the time to empower, because we understand that persons were not empowered. And the reason why I would do that is because I must say that if Kenute Hare the second was not working in the road safety unit, I would not be aware of a lot of things. Because my requirement to get my driver's license was not to know a lot of things.
Right.
So I would say, and because of the privilege that I get, because this job is a privilege, you know. You had asked earlier, why am I here? I don't know.
You don't know, but yeah.
I never bargained for this. This is not what I studied for. I didn't bargain. But in some time in life, the Most High choose for you. That's all. And you just work with it. But it's a very good point, and that's why the education is so important.
I want to get to another question here, and this is a very good one from Rox. So, Melissa, I hope you got the answer you were looking for. Let us know in the comments if you did. Our next question from Roxanne Marie Silent. Are there any stats re LED lights and road crashes? I was in traffic and had to come out of my vehicle and beg vehicles in front of me to allow me to go in front. The flashing LED lights on a truck directly behind me was on the verge of triggering migraine or an epileptic fit. This could be the cause of some crashes, especially at nights. Remember, these lights are triggers and can cause blackouts. I don't know if that's something you've come across.
No, we haven't come across it. But I understand the effects that she's speaking about. And this is something that we look into. We haven't come across it.
All right. Another person, Daniel P. Brown, one same person who let us know about the audio. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Just sharing a personal story here. Says Daniel's friend met in an accident and died on his birthday last year. I think he would have had a 50% chance of living if he had just worn his seatbelt. He lost a couple of teeth and punctured a few organs. I'm afraid to drive without seatbelts today. So that's basically, she's just here. Daniel is agreeing with you and letting you know that seatbelts save lives.
And Daniel, we feel the pain. We wish it never happened. But we would like for you, for the memory of your dear friend, we'd like for you to also implore persons who are in your sphere of influence to leverage the seatbelt all the time, just like what you are doing. Because remember, it only gives 50%, and it don't give you 100%. If I tell you to give you 100, I'm lying to you, and I can't lie to my people, right? So you give you 50%. So I'd rather you use up the 50%, and that's why it pains my heart to know that somebody could have a fighting chance to survive if they had only leveraged the seatbelt. Nobody on this earth can get me not to wear my seatbelt. Nobody. Yeah. Right? I have seen it. I have seen thousands of dead bodies in this country from 1999. Right? I've seen thousands. Right? And I've seen many bodies that could have been saved if they were wearing the seatbelt, because I have seen persons who were in that same vehicle who were in the seatbelt who survived. I've seen passengers on the back seat fly out of the motor vehicle and dead, fly past the driver on the front seat passenger. Driver on the front seat passenger, they were buckled up. They survived. The person left from the back seat and fly go straight through, dead. So as we operate on the network, let us ensure that the persons who sit on the back are buckled up. I see vehicles pack up 4 people on the back seat, robot taxis, and
and this lapping up craze, that's this new thing.
For the life of me, I don't know why passengers would succumb themselves with such indignity. We need to show, what I've said is love for life is causing the problem. If you love your life, a man can't drive your body, If you love your life, you buckle up in a man. Because you're not buckling up because of police, If anybody think that they're buckling up because of police, they make a sad mistake. You're buckling up because of your family and preservation of your life, and to know that there are persons who are depending on your survivability for them to have a happy life.
Yeah, Mr. Hare, I have to go run ahead now because we are moving a little bit towards our time. I want you to just, for me, run through again the parish stats, and then for me, what the messages, the tips are, the information you'd like to leave with people as to what are the ways they can preserve their own lives on the road and help play their part in bringing down the indiscipline on the road. So we're going to start with the stats, and then we'll move to that.
The top 3 parishes are St. Catherine, 53, Westmoreland, 37, and St. Andrew, 33. Right. These 3 parishes have a lot of motor vehicles in them. I would say for the Westmoreland parish, that's a motorcycle mecca. And the motorcyclists have been giving us a run for our money in that parish. 72 motorcyclists have been killed since the start of the year, most of who died in Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. At the scene of the crime, we find no helmet for the most part. I can tell you this, 68 of the motorcyclists killed, we found no helmet. Right? We have pillion passengers who have been killed, 14 pillion passengers, none wore helmet. Right? So the helmet give you a fighting chance to survive. So we settle the families in Western Jamaica. Right? From Western Jamaica, we settle the families. If you have a motorcycle in the household, have 2 helmets. Cover the head. Because you can go to the shop, you can buy a leg and a tie. So you can replace those easily. You can buy a breast and a wing. The hand them is wing. Yeah. You can replace those easily. Go to any shop and order a head. Go to any shop and order a brain. It's not going possible. To the families in Western Jamaica, to the families in Jamaica who have a motorcycle in the house, hear this now. Watch this scenario. Motorcycles traveling along Landilo Main Road at 80 kilometers per hour. Because we decided we're going burn up the speedometer. There is a collision. The motorcyclist is going to fly off that bike at 80. You could have deal. When him fly off of that bike at 80, his head is going to clap the asphalt at 80. Now his head is trying to destroy the asphalt. Is that possible? I don't know. Think about it. Now the asphalt also is going to dump back 80 kilometers on that head. And what I have seen is juice leaking out of the heads on the road surface. No helmet worn. Now here what the helmet would do now. You have on a helmet, your head hit the asphalt, the helmet now is going to, because the helmet, and I'm not speaking about the chimney helmet either, proper helmet with internal padding. The helmet is built with energy absorbing material, which slows down the speed at which the brain rush to hit the front of the skull. Boom bang, boom bang, boom bang, boom bang. Slows it down dramatically, and it provides a fighting chance to survive brain injuries and head injuries. Most motorcyclists killed in Jamaica die as a result of head and brain injuries. I want to speak to the passengers too, because they need to understand something, and drivers. Your motor vehicle that you are operating is built with blind spots. There is a A pillar, B pillar, C pillar in that motor vehicle. Now, persons who don't like to wear seatbelt, the vehicle is going at 80. There's a collision. Your head will hit that A pillar, which is right at your head right here, at 80. That A pillar, which is very rigid, is going to clap back your head at 80. And we have seen many drivers and passengers in this country with traumatic brain injuries. Sometimes I tell people, if you're going to drive at these high speeds and you don't wear your seatbelt, you should wear a helmet. to protect your head from traumatic brain injuries. They laugh at me, think it's a joke I'm making. I'm making a joke. So, leveraging these safety gadgets, right? And another thing we want, because we are about empowerment. When you're going to procure a motor vehicle, do your research first. Research safer vehicles. Safer vehicles. Safe vehicles. Make it your point of duty to know what a safe vehicle is, what components are. If you don't know, call the road safety unit. We will tell you. Your vehicle must have seat belt, right? You must ensure that your vehicle have crumple zones for the front and the back. Side impact bars also to protect you in side impact collision. They are now building them with airbags and side curtains to help you out in case of a collision. They have a roof strength, right? I know a lot of you didn't know, but we're telling you because this is about road safety. We want our people to be safe. We're tired of over 300 of our people dying. We are looking right now, knowing with a certainty that more than 300 persons are going to die on the road network this year. We are at 282, right? We know that there are, oh, by the way, drivers need to understand road surfaces in this country. Let me tell you something. If the road surface is white, it means that that road surface is polished. It means that you have less friction. It means that that road is slippery when dry. Not wet. Slippery when dry. Cut the speed, man. Reduce your speed dramatically. The road is wet. Speed limits are not for wet roads. Speed limits are for dry roads. Right? So reduce your speed dramatically. You're supposed to drive according to the road condition. Wherever you are going, that place is not moving. Right? Not moving at all. Take your time. Right? Because too many persons are suffering from serious injuries. I don't know of any shop, you see. And if anybody know, you can call and tell me. If you know a shop that sells spinal cord, let me know. Because a lot of persons are injured in traffic crashes and they suffer spinal cord injuries. So I am begging motorists out there, drive for each other. Drive for the family. Don't be selfish. Don't endanger your life. And don't endanger other person's life, because the life that you save, it could be your life, right?
Well, Mr. Hare, I forgot. We're running into 40 minutes now, and I don't really want to cut it because information you're telling is vital information, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it gets any more obvious than this, any more graphic than this. Drive on the road with care. Are you going to be looking for a spine, a brain, limbs, you name it? Take care of yourselves on the roads. Resist the urge to do some of these things Mr. Hare talks about. He just told you that when you are the speed at which you are driving, your body is moving at that same speed, and when your body hits that concrete or hits another vehicle or hits a stationary object, juice, you can't win. It's impossible. He said we are 280 now as at October, and he says with a certainty he expects 300 to be. He expects us to go over 300 before the end of the year. Do you want to be among that 300? I should hope not. So therefore, take his advice, exercise caution, reduce your speed, utilize all of the safety gadgets in your car, your seat belt, your sidebars, the roof guard, right. All of those various tools to ensure that you are safest as possible on the road, and that most important of all, especially for the motorcyclists, take time on the roads. It's that simple. Reckless driving equals death. Safe driving, life. There are situations where persons who are driving reckless affect persons who are driving safely. but you increase your chances by simply taking time on the road and doing the best you can. Mr. Hare, I don't think it gets any more graphic than this. If anybody hears this and proceeds to drive insane after this, I don't know what more they need to hear.
I hope they will adjust themselves. And as somebody who usually have pigeons whilst growing up, usually have some pigeon and we tame them. So we could open the coop, let them out, and they come back in. Right? The ones who were not tamed don't come back. Some come back, some don't come back. Well, I have to tell people this, that in the motor vehicle, you and the motor vehicle not tame. So if you fly out of the vehicle, you're not going to come back in the vehicle. Right? Just remember that straight up. If you fly out, you and the asphalt is going to have a tug of war. And
the asphalt
it is
win.
Two different molecules.
I think the asphalt going to win. It's a pretty, you're not going to beat the asphalt. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to wrap. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our discussion. We really, really appreciate each and every single one of you who sent in a comment. Just taking up time to big up Miss Roxanne Marie Silent. She's saying thank you for your efforts, Mr. Hare. She really appreciates the work that you and the unit and your team. As a matter of fact, big up your team. Let everybody know that you do. Big up your teim and let the people, some people in the team are out there doing the work.
The road safety unit is a very small unit. Very small unit. I would like to say thanks to my team members, Miss Camille Stewart, Miss Janelle Sharp, Mr. Jason Stewart, Miss Francine White, Miss Shanique Reynolds, right? Mr. Jalil Sharas, trying to remember everybody's name now, right? Miss Rylisha Pasley, Mr. Paul Brown, Miss Kadian Fagan, and most of all, my secretary, Miss Andrea Miller, right? Thanks to them, and thanks to the Jamaican people. Because I must say, my motivation has been the feedback and the comments from the Jamaican people, right? And their level of honesty in putting forward their position and what they believe can make it better. And what we are, as I said before, we are incorporating what they require of us to do. And whatever road safety problems you have out there, I am saying to everybody in the country, Road Safety Unit is on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and we are on Facebook. Feel free to highlight any road safety comment you have, right? Don't think that we're going to feel no way if you say anything. No, we're not going to feel no way because we want betterment out there for all. The last person that died in a traffic crash, I feel it. You know why? The person was involved in a crash on Saturday. A motorcyclist. Person died Tuesday night. The mother dropped down when she heard. Dropped down. I could feel the pain of the family members. They lose one person. And I know that all the other 281 persons who have been killed, their families to this day are mourning. Come next month, the United Nations will celebrate UN World Remembrance Day for crash victims in November. But they're going to remember all the victims of traffic crashes. The motor vehicle out there, gentle people, can be a weapon of mass destruction. Let us not misuse the vehicle. Let us stop using the roadways as killing fields. Right? Those of us who have caused people to be killed, those of us who have caused people to be injured, let us now turn that around. Those behaviors around for road safety. And those of us who have not injured anybody or killed nobody with our vehicle, let us do not join that wagon at all.
All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I could say it any better. I don't think I could say it with any more force. I don't think I could say it to make it resonate with you in any other way. There you have it. Safety on the road. It's that simple. Thank you to everyone who tuned into our discussion. Thank you to everyone who sent in a question and a comment. We really appreciate it. As you, our audience, play a major part in our show. If there's anyone else that you'd like us to have in studio, just let us know. We'll try our best to have them in studio as soon as possible. And if they're of the caliber of Mr. Hare, I'm sure you'll be glued to the screen. So we really appreciate him for coming and sharing with us. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Jamaica Information Service to see who will be in studio next. We do this every Thursday live on Facebook. I have been your host, Vaughn Davis, and this has been Studio 58A. Thank you for joining us, and please have a good day.